D out, and then bink.
Yeah. I mean, we saw some real talent from Isurus yesterday. We saw lots of individuals shining through, not just Lynx, but I think Deco was a great player. Deco and Reversive were great players to talk about, you know, in terms of having powerful performances, especially on Mirage. That's all for later. That's the second map of the series, not the first.
I tell you what as well, right? If you remember, 1962 in the series yesterday had a pretty quiet game on Dust 2, but his flashbangs were like incredible. And then moving into Nuke, we were, you know, hyping it up, kind of saying, yeah, we want to see more from 1962. Well, then he really turned on here on Nuke, right? And just felt like he came alive in the server. He was finding a hell of a lot of openers for this Isurus side. So I'm kind of curious what version of this man we have showing up today. Is it going to be, you know, more of a supportive role, setting up the rest of the team, or is he going to be leading by example? He's over here on top of Made. But I do think the players for me to be keeping an eye on right now is going to be Lynx and Reversive. You know, those two yesterday, Reversive as well, a lot of that coming off the back of just a ludicrous performance on Dust that he was able to keep up throughout the entire series. And I feel like Lynx has just always been good in this game to hit the shots he has to hit. And I know that sounds like a bit of a null-void compliment, but, you know, that's what you need. You want a player who's consistent. Speaking of consistency, Bolts is pretty consistent at holding down this A-bomb site right now. He deals with 3, helped out by Cello over in Heavens, and Boom are going to put that second round on the board. So these Force by Wars draw to a close almost as soon as they began.
And while consistency is one large talking point, I think another one is experience. And that's something that Boom have, you know, in waves over the likes of Isurus, especially at the top level. These players have been out and about. They've been to Tier 1 European lands, under LG, under INS, under MIBR. You know, they've been around the block. So that's certainly going to play in the hands of Boom in this grand final. We'll see if Isurus, the young plucky underdogs that could, but we'll see if they can. Glocks in this round, though, should just be a clean sweep for Boom, who are armed to the teeth and dangerous while doing so. M4's out and already dealing with the first couple of contact plays. Isurus just throwing themselves into the firing line, as you would imagine. Not much else to do, just business as usual. Boom starts strong on the first map, and now Isurus come back in with guns.
Yeah, and I wonder if we're just going to see some outside presence in this round, right? It wouldn't be a bad time to try and bring that in, knowing that that AWP likely isn't going to be in the hands of Boom just yet. They do send 3 players over here towards outside to begin with. There's a scout on Yell, but that's the, you know, the closest thing to it. And he's holding with that scout back in CT spawn. We will see an outside smoke go down. It's a bit of an interesting one. Gets thrown deep. They looked like that was to allow a cross, but they didn't actually go behind it. Instead, that's now faded. It was in between the gap of like Red Box and Mini, or Main, depending on where you're from.
I found myself using more and more American calls since playing with Trace. Don't know why that is.
I'm going to start calling Silo, is it Red Rock? Is that the
I mean, that's a 1.6
No, that is an old term. Yeah, but it's just because that's what Trace calls it time and time
Red
again.
Rock, you know, I have a buddy that calls it Twinkie for some reason.
I hate that.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Silo's so easy, man. That's a great, you know,
My favorite one is when you're playing in Europe and you hear someone calling it Marshmallow. Yeah, Marshmallow. What's Marshmallow? Well, in this round, ooh, Phelps and Bolts. They're the ones lighting it up. Ooh. And here, Yell, up in heaven with this scout, is able to put one on the board. Reversive. Now the last man standing, throwing into this 1v2 clutch. He mollies out the heaven, and that's going to facilitate a bomb plant here. At the very, very least. Yell has left heaven and regrouped with Cello over here in main. Reversive has a very tall task ahead. He's got to try and overcome this, and he doesn't know where both these players reside. They line up for him, though, and that's almost the double. Yell now knows he's got him trapped, but Reversive holds his own in the 1v2, and Isurus going to get that second round on the board here and now. No waiting around for it, but immediately in response, you've got this AWP buy on the cards for Boom. Yell's going to be donning that, perhaps unsurprisingly. Rifles across the board for everybody else. Cello's got the defuse kit, but that is something to bear in mind. Only one kit here on Boom, so we're going to have to keep an eye on that if this bomb goes down.
Well, at least breaking the mold nice and early into this game, but can they keep it up, or will Boom quickly return the favour and put them back on Eco? Molly is going to be rushed as Isurus smoke it off. They're going to go into the A site. Shiz with 2, and Bolts above drops the bomb. Isurus are barely in the A site as they come late from the lobby. Reverse him out the door, receiving some nade damage. Nothing too beastly, but the Molotovs will be as they push Cello out. He's more than ready to swing wide and take a kill with it. Reversive again, holding strong in this game so far. 2 to his name. He would need the ace.
Yeah, 1v2 in the last round and an ace 1v3 in this one. It's a pretty tall ask, but let's see if Reversive can rise to the occasion. Time is about the only thing he has on his side right now. This bomb is under Boom control inside of the A site. Phelps is waiting in the vent. No, he's not waiting at the bottom. Instead, he's just holding, just tucked down below so he can get up nice and quick to help the rest of the team if needed. He will just actually get into the site now and abandon that little ladder stall. Reversive, looking like he wants to come in on a heaven flank. Doesn't go up the ladder because he doesn't know if there's a player in heaven. And so this way, at least it allows him to take a gunfight there if needed. And of course, that's not going to be the case. Instead, this first point of contact will be the hot player. And Reversive is going to have a lot of angles to bear in mind as he tries to get in. And he does deal with the first man, but left on 4 points of health to deal with the remaining 2. It's a very big ask for this man. And Yell is holding down the angle. Him and Phelps running a bit of a bait and switch almost. And that will see Boom finding themselves an early tactical pause called in for Isurus. And pretty good timing on it. You know, the money's bottomed out.
Reversive with the only... Well, I mean, they've got some deeks in this round with Glocks, but it seems like we have a bit of a technical issue. Might just be our connection to the Go TV here, considering things are in South. Isurus keep a fast pace down towards lower. Obviously, a few rounds have transpired since...
This was all part of it. This is choreographed. They're doing the running man.
The moonwalk.
Okay. Yeah, they're moonwalking.
We don't have to worry about that anymore, Trace.
We really don't. And I was really going to get us into a conversation here that was really scary for a second. That is, you know, we talk about communities. Well, which one is the most casual? Is it the Twitch chat? Is it the HLTV forum users? Is it the Reddit users? Who is it really? We're going to find out. I'm going to let Harry stew on that one and let Hugo cast the round.
Oh, Phelps, he is very, very dangerous. Yeah, hiding in a smoke that will work for a second and not a second longer. Yell gets one outside before Isurus keep a fast pace down towards lower. Obviously, a few rounds have transpired since you last saw this game on your screen. So just to update you, it has been mainly Boom taking these rounds, unsurprisingly, as Isurus are left at least with guns in this one, and they're making the most out of this situation. 4-on-3 and deep yard control. This gives them the room to move up towards that top site. They can flank heaven, but they might meet Shiz in the meantime. He's coming through the hell door. Always missed the timing by a second, but he sees a player on his left. Can't connect the shot. Looking for an immediate dink, and instead he's down, and so is Bolts falling from the silo. It's just Cello alone.
Yeah, and he gets shut down pretty quickly. Reversive delivering a double to put a 4th round on the board for Isurus. Now, we're going to see a reinvestment coming on in from the Boom side, and they will have that AWP in tow. I would love to find out, like, what this anomalous thing is on our leaderboard, Hugo, that said that 10 players survived.
It's bugging a lot. It's because I imagine we've had some restarts.
And I think because we weren't in the server, but it kept track of who won the round.
Just
so that's
don't
probably,
worry about it.
we won't even talk about it. We'll focus on the game at hand. Perhaps that's where we should be. 1962, gonna pick up the pace towards outside, and when you pick up the pace, you gotta be ready to pick up pieces, because there's lots of them over here towards outside, thanks to Phelps. He has cut down this offensive almost single-handedly. Lynx and Deco trying to see this through to the end, and it's a very bitter end for Isurus. Boom Esports going to put their 8th round up on the board as we approach the end of this first half. For those of you who are just tuning in, we did have a bit of a technical issue in the middle of all of this, but it was a strong start from Boom. That's continued, with Isurus only putting up a few rounds here and there since. That money not really given a chance to stabilize yet for this T side, and that's something that they might not ever have control of if this first half continues in this fashion.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help that they get, you know, a round win and then they go for a really fast door play and just get mowed down. So Boom are immediately back in control of the money, and they're watching the yard as well. They can only watch so much with the smokes coming down. Isurus can drop towards lower, and multiple players will do with the bomb. Cello is about to get an unfortunate surprise. So will Shiz coming through the event as well. Phelps is late to the party, but he's here with a bang and a boom, but only one to his name. Leaves Lynx in with a trade. Yell can't connect the shot, and the smokes are up. Isurus have cordoned him out of the bomb site, and it might just have to be an instant save for Boom in this 2-on-4.
That's certainly what it smells like. A save on the cards, and we're going to see that 5th round. These Sharks are not going to take this one laying down. They're going to be all over it. And that's another thing. So, Harry, did you figure out which community is the most casual? Like the most casual of competitive gamers? Well, that doesn't make sense. The most casual of gamers within Counter. Is it A, Reddit?
Yeah.
Is it B, the HLTV.org forum users? Is it C, the Twitch chat? Or is it B, everybody else?
B, right?
Or excuse me, D.
Secret option B.
A, B, C,
A,
B.
B, C, B. Anyway, yeah.
I'll go with the second B.
It's easy.
It's everybody else.
Everybody else.
Cool. So if you're probably not even watching this, then you have absolutely no idea that Harry Russell's calling you casual.
Everyone watching is probably pretty good at the game, because, you know, they're trying to, like, watch these teams go head to head. They're trying to learn some things. They're trying to up their game, you know, and I like that. I like that they're involved. But everyone who isn't watching, you filthy casuals. Ugh.
I mean,
Why
he's only saying it to people that can't hear him, you know.
Of course
no,
he is.
No consequences, Harry.
Get the word out. Let people know. Yell here with the AWP, looking towards outside, and he's trying to secure an opener here for the Boom side, and there's a real gap in this smoke. Now, they haven't normally pushed behind it. Isurus have actually thrown this a few times, right? It's like a deep smoke that lands between main and red to try and block off this garage AWP, I think. But it never really blocks off the garage AWP, so I am left scratching my head somewhat. They now go ahead and drop another, and that's going to fall in the garage, allow them to get across. I almost wonder if it's like the idea of trying to bait someone to push the smoke and take an advantage, but, you know, we'll have to wait and see if that ever prevails. Shiz down here towards the back of the CT vent, does damage, stays alive, and continues to put up numbers. It is a teardown for Isurus in this round. They get shot out of the A-bomb site, and a 9th round graces the board for Boom. They might lose the round prior, but they come back in immediately with a very, very dominant round.
Isurus seems so obsessed with going for these, like, utility-less top-site plays in the late round, and it's just not working. Every time they're doing it, they're getting shut out. You know, look at this play. There's no flashes, there's no smokes, there's no Molotov. Obviously, you know, economy is low, and that certainly creates a problem, but that's why the top site is not often the destination for teams without that utility, because you're just going to get mowed down by crossfires, and there's so many spots to play. So another play for Isurus, this time with grenades behind it, but the spam is there. Shiz lays down the damage, does do some to the one rifle in the hands of Isurus. It's the last round of the half, but they do have lower. Right now, Yell's waiting for it, but he gets smoked off. His teammate inside of the site will hold his own with one, dropping that AK. As they get retrieved, the bomb point gets denied, and Boom are all over this one. 4-on-2, no way back in for Isurus, you would think.
You might think that. Just 1962 has the tech Nina, and guess what? 4 players alive on Boom to try to eliminate. Well, he's good for 1 at least on the Phelps. That's going to give himself an AK and a flash. But this bomb is down inside the site. And, well, guess what? These Boom esports guys, they just really don't want you to have it 1962. Repeat Yell.
Hello.
Nice couple of bullets there. A little bit of a love tap on a Yell. But now these last 2 players are inside of the site. It's going to be Bolts and Cello. And quite the dirty angle up there from Cello. 1962 can't see him, but in the opposite, in the inverse of it, you can see his feet. He's going to try to wrap his way around to the control room side, and it's a spot on the player on site. Now, that's a considerable amount of damage. Pulls the fight for Bolts. He's going to use the Molotov that he has, and I'll try to double back over to these double doors. Time ticking away. 30 seconds on the clock, and now he's going to have to try to make a move here. Now he has to try to make a change in the way that this has gone. And ultimately, only thing that we're going to change around here is the vision that you see on the screen. As we go to a break, we end the first half of play. We do apologize for all the technical delay, but don't worry. We're here to stay. You're watching the ESL 1 Road to Rio. are you excited for the conclusion of this map?
We are indeed, Trace. It's nice to have you call in from the other side of the room, but yeah, we're ready for the action. We're ready for the end of the first map. If Boom want to take it that way, let's see if their T side has got more to say. Apparently not. Isurus will just damn near destroy them through that doorway. Smoke spam for the USPs, and the pistols will come out on top for Isurus. 2 on 5, 1 on 5. Cello is all alone. He's got to play this round like an instrument.
Nice, man. It's not bad. Let's see if he can do it. Cello, of course, a stringed instrument, and he's going to have to pull on a few heartstrings right here to really get this one back in his favor. And it's going to be Noxy who puts it on to Cello and ends the round out. We got Isurus picking up a pistol here, staying in the fight, staying alive. And they didn't win that pistol. Things, well, of course, after the conversion, which we also know is pivotal to a half a Counter-Strike, things could have got a little dicey, a little spicy, maybe even muy caliente.
Yeah, we wanted to see Cello, you know, play that like a fiddle, but in the end, it's Reversive who would-wind him. And now, setting up over here towards the ramp. Boom.
Well, a couple crowbars now inside of the orchestra and the symphony.
Yep, that's that. And they are doing what crowbars do, Trace. Crowbarring things in. Now, Noxy looking towards outside. He's not going to get to see anyone, and this has allowed Phelps to wrap pretty close to main. Flash goes out, and now Phelps knows Noxy's whereabouts, takes the head-to-head, and takes the head off of Noxy. Trade comes in at the very, very least, or an equalizer rather, to leave us into a 4-on-4 with Phelps still tagged up over here towards outside. But this is a real gap for him to try and exploit. Reversive has come in with a flank down beneath, but he gets caught as well. Phelps is ready and raring to go. And now just 2 players left. 1962 tries to do what he can, but it's not going to be enough. Lynx now 1v3 as the rest of his team have fallen. Phelps has done such a good job with this heaven wrap, and it just feels like he's... Ooh, hang on a minute. I was going to say, like, yeah, okay, this is great. He's hidden. Lynx is looking for this kill.
There it is.
And there we go. He does get it at the very, very least, but it's still a 1v2. Time ticked off for this bomb. It's not impossible for Lynx, but it's not going to be easy either. Both players just battening down the hatches inside of the site, and Chiz bests him in the head-to-head. That M4 gets retrieved as well, so it's a free upgrade for Bolts. And Boom steal that anti-force bite away from under Isurus's nose. 2 big kills from Phelps on this heaven wrap. He looked so comfortable the whole time he was up there, right? Great read on how to play that position. The kind of like grated stairs that lead up to it can throw a lot of pros off, you know, like just because it exposes you to a few more angles than you might be ready for. And he actually uses that to his advantage to get that second kill earlier on in the round. So massive one for Boom, and now a fast aid play. They know the money isn't good for Isurus, so they try and pick up the pace.
Oh dear, it's not going too well for them. Trades will come through late with the Molotov eventually burning Deco out. The wrap from outside is there for Yell. He was the one to throw the molly in the first place, so of course he's late, but Recursive is early here on time inside of the site, but a timely death as Cello finds him with the M4. And a re-smoke to main will cut Lynx out of this round for the time being. They should know he's here. The reload will make it very clear. And Boom, they can stick the plant here on the A site. Lynx, worth going for, right? It's an eco after all. But how realistic is this? Cello being low, of course. Lynx does hear him. And that's something for this Deagle, but Yell's going to be even harder to get through playing still inside of the site. Lynx has to win this first fight. Ooh. So hard to get out of heaven when there's a player right below you, especially considering the wider you go there if you're Lynx, the more you're exposed to that isn't close, right? Like that CT vent, that main position, a door peek, a hut player. Very, very hard position to get back into the site from. And Boom, they are going to continue on this streak on the T side, back-to-back rounds. Oh, I think one point that's super interesting is having Phelps in this team, right? Of course, you know, he's had his chance playing with MIBR and some of the best in Brazil, so I'm sure he's learned a lot from that, and maybe it's hard to, you know, fill in a roster of legends like that, but now he's playing against, or playing with, more of these up-and-coming Brazilian players. I think this is a really good roster for him to shine in, to show us what he can do on the big stages, and that's where Boom are looking to go, with Rio being the end goal here. And right now, only 4 rounds away from taking Isurus' map pick in dominant fashion. This eco should be clean before Isurus come back in with guns.
dance, Noxy dance. Phelps has him jumping around and cements that round with a hat-trick. 3 kills on the board and a 13th round now for Boom. Of course, it was only up against the Pistols. Now there's a little bit of time where Isurus can try and make this interesting still. However, that time, it's a very, very small window of opportunity, right? If you don't pick this round up, you go 14-6 down, you're CT side, so you're just going to have a partial buy at best. And, you know, then you're partially investing at 14-6. You're hinging that map point victory on Pistols, which certainly not where you want to be. There's a chance that we never even get to see Lynx on that AWP on this map. So Phelps flashed in through the squeaky door, makes quick work of the first man. Deco is trapped back in the site, and he doesn't even get to see anyone. Yell's mopped up 2 players on the flank, and Noxy is shut down as well. 14-6 for Boom. I love the decision to go for a fast A play there.
Yeah, right. It's something that Isurus tried a lot, but Boom do it really, really well in that round, right? They've been hitting it a lot through the door, but in this one, they throw that typical smoke out door that makes you look like you're going for a vent dive. Often you'll see Tees throw that smoke and not do anything with it. Just try and force util and maybe get a kill through the smoke. So Isurus don't really react to it. They think it's just a standard start, but Boom actually delay a flashbang. Once that smoke has bloomed, Phelps gets flashed in, he gets a kill, and then the rest of Boom just follow in behind him. You've already got that pick. It doesn't get traded, and Boom just collapse upon Isurus. Really, really nice A take there. Something Isurus, I'm sure, could pick up on this T side. Right now, their map pick is getting swept from underneath them, and this has been one that Isurus have made a mainstay of their map pool. Been very good at nuke as of late, so it's a surprise to see Boom, you know, in such a convincing position. But it's not done yet. In a 4-on-5, looking to get out the door. Bit of a boost up. Phelps could crouch, or vice versa. Oh dear. Oh dear. Footsteps get heard, and they may as well just duck dive down the vents, take a bail as Isurus spot their players close towards A. 1962 knows this has transpired, but he doesn't know if there are more inside the lobby. Now with a player on silo, information is all there for Isurus. They should have the knowledge, but Noxy gets caught off down lower.
That's one of those awkward moments where if you're balls, you're thinking, my goodness, thank God he had his knife out, because that was not the cleanest of kills, but it doesn't matter. Phelps and Yell have got the round under lock and key. Deco 1v3. And he's got to do a hell of a lot here, armed with only an MP9. 40 seconds as this bomb plant comes through. And with so much time to decide their post plants, you know, they're going to be more than ready for this down inside of B. I doubt Deco even attempts it, right? He wants to try and get out of this round with a rifle if he can, because it's going to be the only rifle they hold up against map point.
Obviously, the team play is, you know, undoubtedly there for Boom play, but the individual for Boom, but the individuals are really firing off right now. You know, Shiz was planting the bomb on B, and there were 2 players on the right ramp side from Isurus coming through, and they managed to actually get an angle to Shiz because Phelps is playing close ramp, playing behind a smoke, and he, you know, it's not a bait, it's not purpose, but he accidentally let Shiz die, and that in a lot of rounds would be extremely problematic, right? The bomb dropped 3-on-3, and then Phelps just taps them both, you know, like. Oh dear, she's making it look easy. Isurus, they can barely get into a bomb site, and they're on the CT side, so that doesn't bode well. 15 rounds to Boom, 1 away from taking the map pick of Isurus. And not a lot to stop them from doing so. There is utility, is 1 kit, not the plural, just on 1962. But 2 SMGs as well, and Boom have a wealth of cash to fall back on, even 10k on Phelps after the buy. So, back to outside for Boom. Is there going to be any response for Isurus here? Are they just going to keep hitting this A site? That's what it seems like. They keep setting up in lobby for it.
Yeah, one of the things I love, right, is they were making a lot of use out of this hot molly early on, and so as a result, Isurus have just completely stayed away from playing hot, and that's a great bit of conditioning to have, because it is like one of the most horrible positions to try and check as you get out into that A bomb site, and it's forced a lot of these, like, kind of just fighting up at top on the ground, and not where you want to be. Phelps, it's the B play as he opens up onto reverse if they get control of ramp. Echo goes barreling through the smoke and tries to disrupt the flow of this round. No more freebies for Boom as Isurus turn up the heat in this one. It's made a 3-on-3, and now actually man advantage back in favor of Boom. Isurus, there was a time where it looked like they could have taken this round. They do not want it to slip away from them. Yell is coming in on a flank, and oh no, Lynx doesn't even turn around. He gets put